What happens when calculation becomes a form of power? John von Neumann was among the most influential mathematicians of the 20th century. His work reached into quantum theory, game theory, nuclear age research, and the architecture of electronic computers. Yet this is not a story about one mind controlling history. It is a story about how mathematical tools enter institutions, shape decisions, and amplify human purposes. Von Neumann's life asks a difficult question that still matters. When a technical method becomes more powerful, who decides what it is for? Born in Budapest in 1903, von Neumann became known early for extraordinary mathematical ability. He later moved to the United States and worked across logic, physics, economics, computation, and public service research. His range was exceptional, but range alone does not explain his influence. Von Neumann repeatedly carried abstract mathematics into practical settings. He helped show that formal reasoning could illuminate problems in physics, strategy, engineering, and economics. In the 20th century, that movement, from theorem to institution, would change what mathematics could do in the world. During the Second World War, von Neumann joined the Manhattan Project. His work involved mathematical analysis of shock waves, hydrodynamics, and implosion problems. The history must be told precisely. He did not build the atomic bomb alone, and no single calculation explains the project. Los Alamos was a vast system of scientists, engineers, industrial workers, military officials, and administrators. But his contribution was important. It shows how abstract mathematics can become part of decisions whose consequences extend far beyond the page or the laboratory. Wartime calculation turned difficult physical processes into models that could be studied, compared, and acted upon. A model does not make a decision by itself. People choose its assumptions, its purpose, and the actions taken from its results. That distinction is essential. Mathematical analysis can clarify possibilities. It can reveal patterns that intuition alone might miss. But clarity is not permission. The better a system becomes at calculation, the more important it is to ask which questions it is designed to answer, and which human consequences remain outside the model. After the war, von Neumann wrote the influential first draft of a report on the EDVAC. It described an arrangement in which programs and data could share a computer's memory. That principle made machines more flexible. The same hardware could perform different tasks when given different instructions. We often call this the von Neumann architecture. But the name should not hide the collaboration. J. Presper Eckert, John Mauchly, Hermann Goldstein, the ENIAC programmers, and many others shaped the larger history of stored program computing. At the Institute for Advanced Study, von Neumann initiated an electronic computer project and helped promote uses for computers beyond rapid arithmetic. The resulting machines became important models for later scientific and government computing. Yet, no architecture is destiny. A stored program computer is a general instrument. It can assist weather forecasting, scientific research, communication, administration, or military planning. Its social meaning depends on the institutions that fund it, the people who operate it, and the values that guide its use. Technical flexibility makes human responsibility more necessary, not less. Von Neumann also helped found modern game theory. His 1928 minimax theorem and his 1944 book with economist Oscar Morgenstern examined situations in which each person's choice depends on what others may do. The insight is powerful because many real decisions are strategic. Bargaining, competition, cooperation, and conflict all involve expectations about other people. But a mathematical model of strategy is not a moral compass. It can describe incentives and possible outcomes. It cannot tell us which aims are just or what human costs are acceptable. This is where the story becomes more than biography. Mathematical models are exceptionally good at making relationships visible. They can show trade-offs, constraints, and consequences. They can discipline wishful thinking. But they cannot choose our values for us. They cannot decide what should be protected, what risks are justified, or when restraint matters more than efficiency. Von Neumann knew technology could be used for good or ill. The question is not whether calculation is human or inhuman. The question is whether human judgment remains present when calculation becomes persuasive. Von Neumann's work on computer architecture and automata theory helped create conditions for later developments in computing. Today, digital systems influence science, administration, markets, communication, and artificial intelligence. But later technology is not a final gift from one person, and it is not inevitable. Every system is built through choices. What is measured? Which goals are rewarded? Who receives power? And who bears the risk? History matters because it shows that technical systems have origins. What has been designed can also be questioned, governed, and changed. John von Neumann's story is not a warning against mathematics. Calculation can deepen knowledge, improve forecasting, support medicine, and help us understand complex systems. It can also serve military power and create distance from the consequences of collective choices. In 1955, von Neumann asked, "Can we survive technology?" The answer cannot come from a formula alone. It depends on patience, flexibility, intelligence, and the courage to ask what our most powerful systems are actually for. If this episode changed how you see the history of technology, subscribe and tell us, what question should every powerful system have to answer?